Right. Okay. Whew, here we go. So then, folks, welcome to. I'm going to start again because I can. So then, folks, welcome to week 2 of Dygcon Skool. We started this initiative in the Wax Alliance, basically to help out our novice creators. We have 4 levels of creator experience: novice, inexperienced, experienced, and then expert. And the idea of Dygcon Skool was to get people prepped to feature on the Wax Alliance stand, offering a place for free, with coaching and help to create a slide, create drops, etc. But also as well offering, the wider community a bit of advice and some help on, tips and tricks for the event, because it happens very quickly. And, if you blink, you miss it. So basically, these sessions are everything I wish I knew before I exhibited at Dygcon for the first time. We did this last week, but we'll go over it because I think it's important. What is the ultimate goal of exhibiting at Dygcon? Well, you've got a catchment audience. They've all got one thing in common. I think the aim of the game here, especially if you're a novice, is to get an NFT into their wallet, whether it's someone who already holds your NFTs, getting another NFT into there, or getting an initial NFT into the wallet. So week 1, we covered NFTs and swag. We did that because those are the 2 meatiest tasks of getting prepared 3 weeks out for a Dygcon. This week, we're doing slide design and marketing, marketing being my sort of, forte in regards to this, where I can add real true value. Week 3, we're going to do event logistics and the basics. So that's next week. And we're hopefully going to get Waffles Kitty here next Sunday and give people a walk around the venue if they haven't done it. Because when I developed the content for this with the help of other creators, the one thing they wish they'd done was just use the interface before they actually got there, because there's a few things which take quite a while to work out. But if you're talked through them, they're fairly, they're fairly easy. So we're working backwards. Most time consuming first, least time consuming last. So onwards then, slide design, our first topic. So tonight we're going to cover best practice or not, less is more, QR me up, baby, QR codes, instant promo, video is cooler, and your key takeaways. So on with the show. Now, I'm going to show what I deem as best practice here. So this is from Broken Doll's Dygcon 9 presentation. But they're just, these are 2 of his slides. I think he had 5 slides in total. And we'll talk about the less is more in a bit. But these are just like truly impactful mini billboards that really stand out. And as you can see, they're clear. We've got big clear fonts with a call to action, which is getting someone to click on that QR code and go through and either buy or do a blend. Also, why this works for me is the blend for the tank top competition. It's laid out really simply, so we can see that I need 3 of these blue NFTs and 3 of these black Nifty Blocks NFTs to make the Summer in the City NFT. And if I do that, I'm going to go into the prize draw to win, the tank top. So beautiful, great. And the call to action is there as well. We've got a QR code, which is really accessible. One thing I will say is, I can't remember if this is hearsay, but I think I can stake my reputation on the line. The majority of people who attend Dygcon are going to be doing it on a desktop. So you haven't got that problem of giving someone a QR code and then faffing about with it, trying to get it off their phone. So yeah, consider that. QR codes are king, and we'll get onto that in a bit. So I haven't got any sound with this. This is shocking, but I want to show you my video presentation from 2 Dygcons ago. So we're going to have to watch it in utter silence. I'm going to talk whilst we go. So what I tried to do with this was just literally choose some headlines, but keep the pace up all the way through. So I was trying to hit people punch with these first sort of slides as they were, and then slow it down and get into the meat of what were my big drops. And we're going to talk, and we talked last week about the fact that you probably shouldn't be doing too much stuff, but I like to do a lot of stuff. And I probably experienced enough to just about pull it off. But we had the action figures there. We then moved on to Keshikaran. One thing I will say is it's a lot simpler this year. Bit about the reward coins. For me, that slide's good. It's not as good as the ones we saw from Broken Dolls. We got our addition to the swag booth there. And then we did like this bit at the end, coming soon, a bit of a teaser. So they got a lot of information in a short space of time. And they're gonna get their call to action once the burger stops spinning. But yeah, that for me has been my best presentation at Dygcon, and I actually got a longer booth dwell because we can get the data from that at the end of Dygcon. Sarah sends out the list of the booths that people spent the most time on. I got significantly more time spent on my booth for this Dygcon than I did at Dygcon 8. So, the data speaks for itself there. Or not. Here we go. So let's talk about best practice and what not to do. We talked about what to do. Even though we had that swag thing in the presentation that you saw there, the little video that I made, Dygcon 8, I included a full slide, which was just a collection of the swag slides you can see here. And there was absolutely no point in me doing that because everybody's going to see that at the swag booth. So I just wasted, probably 10 seconds of someone's time on something that they get the information elsewhere anyway, completely irrelevant. And then this slide as well, the DCX-D80s, it's sort of got the right ingredients, but it's just too busy when you compare it to Broken Dolls type, the slides that he produced at the start there. It's muddled and it's not nice. So we've got the right ingredients there, but it's nowhere as clear or as brief as what we saw in my video, or more specifically Broken Doll stuff at the start. So less is more. We need to view our slide presentation or slide as an elevator pitch. Now, if you watch Dragon's Den on the TV, essentially what they do when they're trying to raise funding is they're doing an elevator pitch, which is just a very brief nutshell of what you're trying to do, your history, your company, and what you're about. And it's all about just compressing that into the least amount of time. If you can get your elevator pitch into 60 seconds, you're doing well there. Clear messaging, we've already talked about that. It's vital. Let's use big text, big fonts, as opposed to lots of stuff for people to read. View them as billboards. We don't have lots of text on billboards. We have a clear message. Use your visuals. I don't know what that means, but I've written it there. Don't overuse text. Mini billboards. I'm going back over old material here. It's all about sparking an interest, and we're going to see something later on, which is, I just think is beautiful, and that's my key takeaway from this. But you don't need to give them all the information in one go. It's just about tickling that person's pickle enough for them to go through to your website or your drop page, or have a look at you on secondary market. You're providing an image, something that's just trying to draw them in. It might be a catchy line, and that's the way advertising works, isn't it? So our slideshow at Dygcon is no difference to a Coca-Cola advert. Other colas are available, or a McDonald's advert. Simple as that, and that's the way you have to view it. QR codes, I've already said QR codes are king. We've seen them used several times in the bits of best practice that I've showed you. They're quick and easy. They're convenient for the person who's, they're convenient for the user, especially when we're in an environment where they can pick up their phone and scan their desktop. I've already said the majority are desktop users. The phone will be handy. You can just Google it. So there's loads of QR code generators out there available for you, and most of them are free. Some of them will let you download a QR code and not do the full download. Sometimes they put like a watermark over it, but you can literally generate the QR code and then take a screenshot, and that's how I do it. So you can always crop your screenshot later on. So just type in your link, generate the code. Obviously do research first. Don't just go using any old website. I always just type in website name, is it safe, and you generally get a report back to say that it's safe or not. Stay safe, kids. So instant promo, right? So what I do is when I'm building my slide presentation, I think, what else can I use this for? So I'll immediately think, okay, I've got loads of great slides here. I'll break them up into tweets, right? So you're doing two jobs. So by getting into that mindset and saying, I'm creating these mini billboards, actually what you're doing is you're not only creating content for Dygcon, but you're creating content to tweet about. And as we talked about, and as we'll talk about in a bit, last week, if you're tagging Dygcon in those posts, they're going to retweet you. They love it. That you can rework them to save time. An example of that video that I just showed you, I literally went through and I put a sold out banner on the action figures once it's sold out. So that wasn't, peeing people off when they were coming and then trying to click through to the action figure drop because we'd sold out. And also it's great because it just looks like, I've sold my stuff by updating that. Keep them handy. And then what I want to show is this slide on the right now. When I was doing the construction of the video that I just showed you, what I'd done was I got my community to literally give me some testimonials. Now, this ended up on the cutting room floor because, again, it goes against everything that I've been preaching about so far. So there's lots of dense text on there. However, from doing that exercise, I've got loads of great customer comments, which I can use elsewhere. And that's where I'm talking about keeping them handy and reworking them. Any of those testimonials are great because they're real people. And, what I did was in and around the event, I just literally tweeted that in the end. And I've used them since, like little clippets elsewhere. They're great to have in my back pocket. Video is cooler. So the big reveal is, some of you will know this, some of you won't. The video that you saw, I know it's not, it's never going to win an Oscar, right, for production quality. But I build all my videos for that type of thing when I'm doing promotion, quick promotion. I do it all in PowerPoint. You don't need to be super good at video editing software. If you're starting from scratch, you can use the transitions that they've got. And if you don't want to do something too complicated, it will do it. And you are going to get that better engagement with a video, but it's more time consuming. Even to me, as someone who's been using PowerPoint, for a few years to make what I call, disposable marketing, stuff that I can just literally put out there and then edit afterwards. I used to do that a lot when I used to work in nightclubs. We used to just have a promo going on and we'd make a little PowerPoint video for it, and it worked because it's a cheat. Nobody knows it's PowerPoint. They all think you've done a video, which is cool. So the key takeaways, what are they going to be for your slides? You've got to decide that needs to be the crux before you start designing your slideshow. You've got to think about what's the key thing I want the viewer to take away from this, and that will be the backbone of what you create. Think about one thing that you want to promote, especially if you're going to be doing, you want to exhibit on the Wax Alliance slideshow, because you're not going to have, you're going to have a couple of slides maximum. So what's the one thing you want the person to take away? Is it the fact that you're doing a drop? Is it the fact that you've opened your Discord? Is it the fact that you want social followers, which should be a minimum? You should be looking basically to include like links to your social media, your Discord, your Twitter, your Instagram, whatever, in your slides at some point, because that's the way we primarily connect to our audience. We talked about call to actions, and we saw it, best practice there with the QR codes, links to drops. Don't let the person, because we all know, I don't know if you've done this before, but trying to find even creators that I know on secondary is really, really difficult. Like there's a couple of very high profile collections where I couldn't find them for the life of me. Took us like half an hour to find. I'm not going to name and shame that collection, but a very prolific collection that just isn't named correctly. Let's go back to sort of like talking about the exclusivity thing. So I personally always go down the exclusivity route, but it's up to you whether you want to do that. Watch week one. It's a double-edged sword. I always use my slides, not particularly the slides themselves, although I have done it in the past where I've had room, in the text that you get on your booth, which you'll see if you haven't done it before. But you get like when you click on the person's booth, you can see some text pop up with the links to your drops. It's really good to have your availability, because we have the curse of the time zone, right? The first Dygcon event that I had, like everybody had been and gone. Like, I mean, at some ungodly hour, I don't know how early the people in the US had got up, but they'd literally, like, people have been there for hours and hours and hours, and it was like they were on, I don't know, it was like they were on, Chinese time. So a good thing to do, which I always do, and you'll see me tweet about this as we go up towards Dygcon, is my availability specifically on the stand. So I'll always state I'm definitely going to be on the stand between this time and that time, and that means that I can either get other people to man the stand, people, the collectors, if they fancy doing that, or hopefully someone would like what we do, and then they come back when I'm there to ask me some questions. I've already said it, whether it's a video, whether it's slides, update your bloody presentation if you sell out, because one of the biggest bugbears in a game, we covered this in week one, that I've heard is when creators or collectors even come up to me and say, oh, it's really sad because I'm here on Saturday and everything's sold out. At least if we're communicating that to people, it's going to be slightly less of a kick in the nuts when they find it, save them clicking through the link there, taking the time to do that. So we're going to move on to marketing. So we're going to discuss tagging Dygcon. We're going to talk about gifts. We're going to talk about the Drawn Company Dygcon takeovers, social activities, and then we've got a bit of best practice at the end. So tagging Dygcon, and I put face palm, right, because it angers me, right, that we have an account that's got 4,000 followers that will retweet your stuff if you retweet it. And I literally, going up to Dygcon, I've said it again, I'm a stuck record, but I tweet, and I always tag Dygcon in my stuff. I did a sticker drop the other week, which they retweeted because I tagged them in it. That is partly related to the exclusive drop I've got going with them. But that just goes to show, if you're creating content that's engaging, for them, they're gonna retweet it. So just tweet. But there's a little asterisk there. You have to be careful when you're doing excessive tweeting not to get shadow banned. Very quickly, Google it, find out what it is properly. But what happens is when Twitter looks at small accounts that are tweeting a lot and using hashtags that are the same or similar, or tweeting at the same people, basically what they do is they shadow ban you, which means that they let you tweet, but they just completely deck your audience and it doesn't get shown to people. And the nastiest thing about being shadow banned is you don't know you're shadow banned until you log in through Twitter without logging in. So you don't log in as yourself, and you'll see the hashtags that you use don't contain your tweets. So just beware of that when I'm encouraging you to tweet at Dygcon. there can be ramifications if you do that sort of like in an unstructured way. Again, tag everything. Yeah, so just tag them in everything that's related specifically to the event without getting shadow banned. And this applies before, during, and after. There's a lot of sort of aftercare that you can do. So building up to when the swag's going to be released, I'll do a tweet about the swag. I'll be getting people excited about that. And I've written there the campaign, but I can't remember what that subject is. Sorry, guys, it's late. So I wanted to show you this. So literally 3 weeks ago, I decided that for this Dygcon, I wanted to create an anime themed action figure collection. So at that point, I did not have any NFTs created. I just had a really cool logo. And the way I work is I just put that out there because I like flying by the seat of my pants. It's not going to work for everybody, but there we go. I tweeted that with the Dygcon logo, 0 NFTs created, and lo and behold, Dygcon like that. So I got the retweet off it, and then people are starting to ask, what's that? And the nicest thing about putting Japanese in an image is that people can't just copy and paste it. So there was a lot of sort of like speculation about what it was going to be. And I slowly built up with these. Again, I'm tweeting as I'm finishing. As soon as I finished the bike, I put Karen onto the speedline background, tweeted at Dygcon. We've got the just a simple effect in After Effects there with the logo at the bottom. I've got my God, I love this. This is the robot changing photocopier, and I've just done that like a Lego instruction manual. I won't print that because that's massive plagiarism, but you get the idea. It's very versatile. So these are 2 of the core tweets that I'm referring to. So, and the numbers at the top is the total engagements that I've had on these tweets. I don't have any business getting this sort of engagement off a single tweet where I'm just tagging one person in. So we've got on the left hand side, we've got the sticker blends, again, not directly related to Dygcon, but it's loosely related. And when Sarah saw that, she made the connection that, oh, it's the action figures. So I get the retweet, and off that I've got 675 impressions. Wow. 806 impressions on the animated action figure. Again, literally no preparation there. I don't think it matters if you put stuff out there and you change it later on, so long as you're clear. But I got a pretty good idea of how I wanted to animate the boxes this time, so I was like, no, just go. So next, the GIF is king, right? I use GIFs and Easy GIF all the time, and they are so simple to do, and I think they are so underused. So literally what you're looking at there is the arcade cabinet's slightly more complicated. Maybe it's like 5 or 6 frames, but the drop live and the sold out GIFs, they're just literally 2 frames that I've banged into Easy GIF. I've got the timings right, and they just work, and it pops in the feed. They're quick and they're effective. And that they, you see a lot of sort of static stuff in people's feed. The second something's flashing slightly, it's just going to leap out of people. It's just an extra tool to have under your belt. So just going to talk quickly about my Dygcon takeovers. So what I did for my takeover last time was we got a picture of it here. Was I decided I wanted to do something big and create a stir and cause a bit of chaos, because that's what I'm about. That's what Drawn Company's about. So I just created this very simple GIF over the left hand side, which basically just says, come to the stand at 9 p.m. UTC on the Saturday, and we're going to be giving away 500 NFTs. And as you can see here, the results of this, and with a bit of encouragement from Humble Drawings, I was not scared to use the announcement system within the event. So I'd already got a bit of a crowd, but we used the announcement system, and we had 79 people on the stand. I think at one point there had to be 2 instances of the room because there were so many people in the room at one time. And what I did for that was I followed again what Humble was talking about last week. So I just did an experiment. It was again, flying by the seat of my pants. And I got everybody who wanted the NFT to literally sign up to a Survey Monkey survey, give me their wallet address, ask for a couple more things. A net promoter score, I do that a lot, which is like general customer satisfaction, to just learn about what people think about your brand. We can do that another day. But yeah, 79 people on that whitelist from that promotion, which was phenomenal. It was great. And I'm going to be taking the learning this time, doing the same thing, but it's going to be more structured, because obviously I learned a lot of lessons in there. It's like it's something simple as I'm getting a tame, not a YouTuber, someone who does Twitch, Kitta. She's really good, and she's got a great little following. So I've asked her to come and sort of like co-present for the half an hour when we do the takeover. Again, flying by the seat of my pants, because I don't know what I'm going to do for that yet, but you know, we'll do something cool. So I also did a Discord takeover, which again, Sarah absolutely loved this. So before the event last time, and I'm probably going to do it this weekend this time, I just invited people through tweets to join the Dygcon Discord. They have no problems with you doing this. We had loads of people in the general chat. It was pirate themed, so I was skating close to the edge, and it was basically, I got people to write, Captain Clutterbuck has sent me for booty or something like that. And it worked because it captured people's imaginations. It was funny. There were people who were seeing it happening in their Discord, and they were getting involved, and also getting them to visit my channel as well. So there was like 3 wins there. It was, well, 1, there's a Dygcon Discord. 2, Drawn Companies got a channel in there. And again, we sort of like just whitelisted them for completing the task. And you can do that for a lot of things. It doesn't need to be a takeover. It should be the takeaway from that. It was really fun. I had good engagement, and I recommend anyone to do it, because it's just it literally is. It's fun. And it's sort of like taking the idea of the event and not thinking about it of the 3 days that it's happening, because that happens very fast and there's a lot going on. What can I do in and around the event to sort of like support that and support Dygcon as well? So yeah, again, probably not following my own advice with this, but on the left hand side we've got what's happening when, basically, and I had a lot going on, so I broke it down. I'll do the same thing this time, but it will be simpler. We had all sorts of things going on. This was not just really for people who were attending the event. It was more for my collectors as well, I've got to be honest with you, just to let them know all the stuff that was going on, so they didn't miss out on anything, because that upsets me when I do something for free and then people come up to me afterwards and say, I missed out, and that does, it genuinely touches my heartstrings, because these people are investing in the brand. We've got 10 minutes left, so I'll have to hurry up. So we're just going to leave with what I deem as, and these are not Drawn Company or Broken Doll stuff, but these are 2 examples of the best practice I've seen for 2 different reasons, right, over the past couple of weeks. So I've Danny B's tweet on the left hand side. These are tweets. Happy Wax Wednesday with his B at the bottom. He got the fabled Nefty Blocks retweet off the back of that, and it's so well deserved, because he's not doing product push, but he's created something with his brand. He's tagged Nefty Blocks, and they've given him the retweet. And I can tell you, I mean, I've been canvassing for a retweet from Nefty Blocks for since I started, and I still haven't succeeded, because they're like a fortress. But there's so many things that I can learn from that you can learn from that. He's exposing his brand to all of Nefty's followers just by creating something for the Wax Wednesday hashtag, and it's effective, it's bold. So that's the type of thing we need to be doing as creators. We've got the same thing over here with the Chiefy bots. Chiefy bots returned to Dygcon 11. It's just simple, isn't it? It's just effective. So on the other side of things, we know we're probably going to get the retweet if we're tagging them in, but that's just simple. It's impactful. Again, we can see the fella there And yeah, I just hats off to both of those projects for doing that, because we don't see it very often, and that's why I picked it out. And anytime I see something that's really best practice, I keep it in a folder. So yeah, so I know a small rat's got a buddy who isn't here today, but you know, if anybody else wants to buddy up during the week, just message in the Dygcon channel in the Wax Alliance Discord, because I know for a fact that Small Rat and Doge fellas are absolutely having, like, they're just seeing the benefits of buddying up. And I'd invite you, just whilst we've got 5 minutes, if anybody's got any questions, but specifically first, a Small Rat, could you just talk us through what you've been doing with Doge fellas? Because he's been like highly happy.
Sure. Yeah, honestly, I'm at home with just my dog, so I don't have a significant other to really just kind of ping things off of. And so it was really welcoming just to kind of get to know him, learn a little bit about his project. Of course, he invited me into his Discord, so I got to pop in and get to know a bunch of those guys and kind of learn how his card game is working out. And that's been really fun. And he's been really encouraging for the VIRL stuff that I've been working on. So I would highly recommend find somebody, and even if you don't have anything to say, you can even message and say, hey man, I don't really have anything to share right now, but I was just wondering what was going on with you. And that's been really effective.
Cool. That's so good. And that's probably a connection you wouldn't have necessarily made without this, or being encouraged to do that. So yeah, it works. And it works on so many different levels. It's not just about Dygcon, you know. We can apply it to all aspects of what we do. And sometimes it can be quite a, you know, they say being an entrepreneur is one of the loneliest things that you can do, because you are traditionally isolating. It's no different for us as creators. We are very lucky on the Wax blockchain though, because we've got such a good community. I defy. There's been a lot of conversations about, you know, us not being as good as other blockchains, which I don't agree with at all. And I think that there are some problems, but I think the community is just outstanding. There's no way I'd be still doing it if it wasn't for you know, everyone that I've met on the journey.
Yeah, I'd say you have a really great chance of finding a good buddy in this community.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Well, I'm going to end it there. Has anybody else got anything to say? Abstract Dragons or Humble Drawings? Anything? No. Okay. Well, we'll end it there, and we'll be back same time next week. And hopefully we're going to get Sarah from Dygcon if she's got availability. I need to book her in for that actually. Yeah, need to do that. Okay. See you next week.
Yeah. Thanks for the class. Bye.
Absolute pleasure, man.